Hello, Virgo. Mercury is trine Saturn on the 2nd, and on the 6th, Mercury is trine Jupiter. That's going to bring Virgo a lot of good luck this month in April. Now, let's see how your ruling planet of Mercury affects you this month, Virgo. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. This is an angelic horoscope transmission from your Virgo angel Hamaliel, who resides over your mutable earth nature. And these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. First, of course, the love transmission, the most important. First, we'd like to say that your guardian angel is Uriel. And Uriel is the guardian over all earth signs. So that is the general earth sign guardian angel that's helpful to pray to, a very strong, powerful angel that stabilizes and manifests, brings things into manifestation. Now, your teaching angel and your specific angel, like if you put a little specific focus on it for Virgo to separate from the other earth signs, your Virgo angel is Hamaliel. So the general energy is more Uriel for earth. And then for Virgo specifically, which is mutable earth, that's Hamaliel. Just so you understand how that works. If you want to understand yourself and be able to teach others and be taught and have more understanding, that's where Hamaliel comes in handy. Uriel is who you want to invoke if you want more general things and more general prayers, that kind of thing. And you can feel the energy, what you want to deal with, yeah? Okay, now, for your remainder of the love transmission, I just wanted to clear that up with you. Really, this is going to be a lucky month for Virgo. You're going to do very well because the planetary aspects are in Virgo's favor this month. And this is a hard month, so you're going to be lucky. You're going to have to sit back and watch everybody else go crazy. Just sit back and enjoy the show because people are going to go a little nuts. Now, why? Why are people going to go nuts? Okay. The first reason is this. On the 4th, there is a total lunar eclipse, a blood moon that happens. They happen on a full moon in Libra. And this is a blood moon because it's on Passover, starts on the 4th. That's when the blood moon is. That's Passover. It starts on the 3rd in the evening. But that's Passover. Then the next day is Easter Sunday, the 5th. So it's a very intense time. And Libra is, because the lunar eclipse is in Libra, it's the balancer of the scales, right? So people are going to want to settle old scores. And they're going to want to balance things the way they feel they should be balanced. Now, if you want to know how they're going to come at, how people are going to go at it, remember, you're not going to be too much involved in this, Virgo, but if you want to know how people are going to go at it with each other, what they're going to do is they're going to go after each other's soul. They're not going to go after the ego because it states in the Zohar that a lunar eclipse goes after the soul. And the soul is represented by Israel in Scripture. And it states in the Zohar that a solar eclipse, we don't have one this month, but just for your information, a solar eclipse goes after the ego, and that's represented in Scripture by the nations. So you understand, there's a lot of good information in the Zohar, by the way, and Christ read it, and obviously he read the Book of Enoch. He wasn't an illiterate idiot. He was from a very wealthy family, so get over it. All right, now, you understand that they're going to go after what is the very soul. Now, so what defines a soul, Virgo? What defines a soul? A soul is defined by your relationships with others, by how you relate to each other, by how much you communicate with other people, not by how much you cut people off or ignore people, but by how much you can engage people. That's where the soul resides, because we're all one. There's only one world soul. And we are only a part of that soul when we connect. Now, unfortunately, the more technology we have to connect with, the less we communicate, and the less we connect, and the less we relate to each other, and that's the very definition of hell, is being separated from God, which is the world soul. You understand. And God is more than that, but that's the first part of the understanding of it. Communication is very important for the soul. So people are going to try to stop other people from communicating with each other, is what they're going to do. This isn't what happens when people go after the ego. That's something else we're not going to get into right now, because we've already been through that with the last solar eclipse recently. But again, right now we need to focus on not allowing the soul to get destroyed, not allowing personal relationships with friends and family to be destroyed, because that's what this blood moon goes after. So don't lose your relationship to other people, because that's where, as far as what says in the Zohar, the Hebrew letters that are going to, it's how they relate to each other that you have to have the context for it to become anything powerful. Just having the knowledge does you no good if you lose the context and you lose the relationship, because it's in the relationship that there is power, not in just raw knowledge. There's no power at all in raw knowledge, none. That's what the Zohar says. All right, now, continuing. On the 10th, there's a Sun conjunct Mercury, and that's very lucky for Virgo, because the Sun brings luck and success and popularity, quite frankly, in matters of relationship, friendship, love, romance, friendship, all of that. Family, that's what it brings. It's going to increase the good relationship between Virgo and Leos. So understand that. That'll be helpful. That's good for popularity. Now on the 18th, the new moon is in Aries. When the new moon is in Aries, that throws a bit of a damper on the Aryan or martial aspect of confrontation, martial warfare, getting too upset. So that calms it all down just a bit, and that's very helpful with this whole blood moon thing that's going on in April. Okay, now, for Hamaliel's money transmission for you, Virgo, Mercury is to ingress into Taurus on the 15th. And that's April 15th, that's going to comfort Virgo in tax season, because Taurus is fixed earth, and that will slow everything down, solidify everything, and make everything much more manageable, which, since Virgo is mutable earth, that comfort will really be welcomed with all these Aries aspects that are going to go on before that. And again, with all the blood moon things that are going on in Libra, it's all just a bit much. So, this will help Virgo with the taxes and the whole retribution with money aspect that you're going to see other people doing. Retribution in love, and retribution in friendship, and retribution in finance, and retribution with taxes, and this and that, and yada, yada, yada. All of this. Watching other people go at it, this will help you. Again, it'll make you more calm. So you can know that your Taurus buddies are going to be very helpful during this time. Now, getting to your health. Hamaliel's health transmission for you, Virgo. On the 8th, it's not the 8th of April. Not a good day. Not a good day to attempt conception of a child. Not a good day on the 8th. Because of a Mercury square Pluto aspect. Not good. And also a Mercury conjunct Uranus will be a good day to talk about it or philosophize about it, but not a good day to actually conceive. It's a good day to talk about it or think about what, your philosophy is again. Again, that's because of a Mercury square Pluto and a Mercury conjunct Uranus aspect on that day. On the 15th, and regarding matters of health, Mercury to ingress Taurus on the 15th that we mentioned, again, because it's good for the woes of tax season. It's also good for the health. And Virgo tends to get a nervous stomach, and Virgo tends to work too hard and sometimes, get some scratches and things like that, bruises and scratches with working too hard. So this will help calm it down, slow it down. One caveat though here, it might make you work even harder at these physical things, and you don't want to go too far with that. So the slowness of it will help. Just don't work too hard, even if you're working a little slower at it. And, these things are temporary anyway, but we don't want to go too far in any direction. Now, do we? Okay. Now, for your afterglow, Virgo, for your highlights of some facets that we find especially important. We don't put all of them up. We put up the ones we feel are most important with our education in Rosicrucian Kabbalah. So we're going to give you some of these aspects. And at the end of this, we're going to also tell you why we don't put every single lunar aspect at the end of these things. Not only for obvious reasons that, they go on forever because they're constantly changing, but also we'll give you a reason why that happened at the end of this afterglow. Okay, so now Virgo's afterglow for Mercury aspects that are important, and a few other things that are important. The second, Mercury is trine Saturn. On the 4th, there's a blood moon in Libra. Remember, they go after the soul. It won't really come after you too much, but just be aware, it's going to be crazy. On the 6th, Mercury trine Jupiter. Those are the 2nd and the 6th lucky, those trines in Saturn and Jupiter with Mercury. Very lucky. On the 8th, Mercury square Pluto and Mercury conjunct Uranus. Again, not a good day to conceive a child, but a good day to talk about it and philosophize about it. Not a good day and match what you think about it. Not a good day to actually attempt conception. On the 10th, Sun conjunct Mercury. That's a very successful day, popularity day. And on the 18th, new moon in Aries, that puts a damper on confrontation, which is good. On the 19th, Mercury sextile Neptune. On the 21st, Mercury square Jupiter. On the 22nd, Mercury trine Pluto. And just a caveat here, with the Mercury trine Pluto on the 22nd, Virgo might tend to think too much about their own dark nature, which makes Virgo feel badly. But everybody has a dark side, so don't get too upset about it. Okay. Now, on the 23rd, Mercury conjunct Mars. It'll kind of give you a pep talk, it'll help you, be more peppy. It'll put the Energizer Bunny batteries back in the Energizer Bunny, okay? And on the 15th of April, remember on that D-Day for tax season, the Mercury ingress Taurus will help and solidify and slow things down. And it'll make Virgo feel better. And your Taurus buddies and friends and family will be very helpful at that time. Okay, now I promise you I tell you why we don't put every single lunar aspect. Obviously, there's too many of them. But also, this is sort of a double-cross story here, but we'll tell it to you anyway. When I was a young Rosicrucian neophyte, a Rosicrucian adept told me, many moons ago, he said that when he does Rosicrucian tarot, if he gets the moon card, he throws the whole thing out. And he pays no attention to it and starts all over, because it just means you can't trust it. Forget the moon card. So I always remembered that, and of course I still deal with the moon, I still deal with the moon card, and I still deal with the lunar aspects, and we deal with the moon, but, we still deal with it, not just the sun. But this is interesting. It always stuck on my mind, so it made me kind of glitchy about the moon. Not sure which to do. It gave me a double mind about the moon. And it stuck with me to this day. It kind of reminds one of when the judge will tell the jury to never mind what this attorney just said. The jury is instructed to strike that from their minds, knowing full well that that's not going to strike it from their minds. They're going to think that's extra important. So whatever. But what we really want to go into here is the very adept that told me that he throws away the whole reading if he gets the moon card. He also told me, these are also the adepts that, well, there's a group of them, so it's hard to say which one it was, but this one had a hand in it, I think, who, when they gave a formula to people for magic to get rid of cockroaches, for example, they inserted the word Bethor instead of Phaleg, and that really was quite a April Fool's prank. All right. Thank you, Virgo, for joining us. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. And join us again next month.